It's been lovely. Like we took it on tour here in the States in April and May, and then they just released it again in 4DX, that format where the chair fucking moves and stuff. So I've been interacting with the movie quite a bit this year, and it's lovely, man. It's I get to sit there like every night when I was on tour and look up at some of my favorite people in the world at their absolute fucking youngest. Oh my God, Matt Damon looks like Matt Damon's daughter in this movie. He's so young. We told people it's the 25th anniversary, but really it was the 26th. We just stretched our truth a little bit like the Catholic Church. And everyone has aged. I look up at the movie, man, like Jason Mewes is baby faced in the movie, and he was there at the premiere with me. And I went from looking at him on the big screen, I was like, I wanted to tell him how good he was in the flick, and he's standing right next to me. I went from looking at the baby face Jay to the withered fucking crypt keeper standing to my right. We've all gotten so old, but the movie holds up, man. I was worried, a little bit worried, going out there, like, oh man, like, is there something in it that's 90s cringe that I'm gonna have to be like, well, it was the 90s, kids, sorry and shit. No, like the movie holds up, man. And like, I know a bunch of people like, oh, fucking nowadays on the internet, oh, he went woke and shit. No, that movie was woke. I mean, I just watched Mallrats last night, and fucking there was a moment in the movie where I was like, oh, I guess I've been this way from the jump. But I love the flick, man. It occurs to me nowadays as a child's prayer, which is what it was. This was a young Kevin Smith's idea of how fun church could be. He'd been an altar boy for 12 years. Only an altar boy could have made that fucking movie. But he'd been an altar boy for 12 years, and he couldn't stand how nobody celebrated their faith, like we say in the movie. Everyone just sat around and fucking mourned it in church. And I always felt there was a better way, man. So Dogma is my idea of how fun church could be. Like entertaining with anal jokes thrown in just to keep you on point and awake and alert and shit like that. So it's lovely. It's sadly, when I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, the kid who made this, he believes in everything. I'm not that person anymore. Kid who made the movie, who wrote the movie and directed the movie, is different from the 55-year-old who looks at it now. I don't have that same system of belief that I used to have. And it's bittersweet when I watch the flick because I'm like, there's a kid who fucking believed. I was worried when the movie was coming out because there were groups like the Catholic League who were making hay over the movie without having people seeing it to be like, it's blasphemous. You can call Dogma a lot of fucking things, but blasphemous not one of them, man. It's actually a very reverent film. So we had to deal with from May of '99, or even before that, when we were in production, the script had gotten out on the early version of the internet, and so people could read it. And the Catholic League went after it pretty hardcore all throughout production, all throughout post, while we took it to Cannes, when we took it to the New York Film Festival. When we took it to the New York Film Festival with 1,000 people protesting outside Alice Tully Hall, shouting the rosary at me, man. But good thing as I was raised Catholic, I knew the rosary, I could shout it right back. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee, motherfuckers and shit. So it was a tough time. The moment the movie came out, all that went away because that's the problem, right? You can tell people this movie is blasphemous and horrible and fucking evil until they see it. And then they see very clearly, I don't know, bro, filmmaker seems to believe in all this stuff, like perhaps disturbingly so. So I look at it and I'm reminded of who I was. And, that's what I love about all the movies. There's snapshots in time of who you were when you made them. But this one's a snapshot not of just when I made the movie, but of my entire existence, having been raised Catholic and always believed in that stuff. And it was not presented as Christian mythology. This is the faith of my father, the faith of my mother, the faith of their parents and stuff. There was just something you believed. Like I remember like coming home at age 6 from first grade and being so sad, crying to my parents. Somebody told me Santa wasn't real. My parents sat me down and they're like, well, it's true. Santa's not real. He's just a beautiful lie that we tell kids all the time. And like when you find out it's not true, that's when you start growing up. And I'd be like, what about God? Is God real? My parents would be like, of course God's real. Don't be fucking stupid. You know, Years later, I don't have that faith anymore. And I'll be honest with you, I wound up in a nut house a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago. I got committed to a place called Sierra Tucson. And I don't think I would have been there if I still had my childhood faith. Because when you believe, you got Jesus on your side. There is no problems when you have faith. JC, take the wheel. You put your faith in something bigger than you. When you don't have that, you remember or realize or believe that you are alone. And slowly over time, like, Dogma, I made it through Dogma. Let me see, 1999 came out. It wasn't until probably about 2009, 2010 that I let go of my faith. It wasn't because of Dogma, oddly enough. It was because of Smodcast afterwards. But letting it go, probably 2010 to when did I go to Nut House 3 years ago? So 2020, it took about 12 years to have this like slow effect of like you're alone and fucking no help is coming to have some sort of effect. So I miss my faith, not the least of for the reasons of which was kept me out of the nut house for a long ass time. But once it's gone, it's gone. You don't get that sort of thing back. And I love spiritual people, man. Like people that truly believe and stuff. I'm envious of them. In many ways, I wish I could go back to that. But I don't like, those people, nothing but love for. The people that use religion to tell you who you can and can't fuck and like inhibit your freedoms and shit, fuck those people. That has nothing to do with spirituality or faith. That's elitism dressed up as fucking religion and shit. So I miss it. I don't like, I'm not one of those people that sits around and be like, oh, these fucking holy rollers and shit. The true holy rollers, the ones that believe in Jesus, and to the point where if you believe in Jesus and the teachings of Jesus, you don't fucking judge other people and you don't try to make other people's lives miserable and you don't fucking try to tell people how to live and shit like that. I got nothing but love for those cats and nothing but infinite fucking patience. I'll sit there and talk Jesus with those folks all day long. But any motherfucker who weaponizes a good idea like fucking Christ and Christianity, fuck them. They're people like that, the problems we got in this country right now.